Team Kill Tactic.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Director's Commentary for Open Lobby Season 1, Episode 1, The Top Fragger. Oh boy, get ready, because I am going to talk my fucking ass off. Alright. Oh, this is bad, I'm already pausing. Okay, I'm going to make this quick. Most machinimas, I'm specifically thinking like Red versus Blue, they start with like these really like long-winded intros. For me, it was very important that I didn't waste the viewer's time, and that I chose an intro that was just very quick and straight to the point, but also tied in with the thematic of the show, which was online matchmaking for Halo's multiplayer, right? Well, I was lazy. I didn't want to take the time to really like make like a super elaborate intro, and so I just chose this really simple intro of like the opening cue for before you're led into a match. There's this cue of like the 3 beeps, and then the 4th beep is when your game, the screen cuts to black, and then you load into the map, right? So and it's also the same. It's the same noise when you die, and then the final beep, you spawn back in. So same principle, but the idea is that you get all this information of like, okay, this is what episode you're on, and then the final beep, boom, you're right in the episode, right? And I thought that was really effective in just like putting, giving the audience like the intro, and then boom, getting right into the episode in the same way that you would for like a multiplayer match. You see the map queued up, and then you hear the boop, 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 boom, you're in the game, right? So that was the whole thought process behind that.
Okay, let's stay focused and work together. If we're gonna bring this back, we gotta work together.
We can't. Whatever we do, we're screwed. The score's 45 to 23. We can't hold them here. Yeah, there's nothing.
I like that little like movement that I did with the head. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the head bobbing that I did in this season. I think a lot of it was just like I did it way too much. I try to do a different type of head bobbing that I hadn't seen before in any machinima, which was a lot of head bobbing was very inconsistent in machinima, where like obviously one of my biggest inspirations for this series was matchmaking, the machinima series from 15 years ago. That more so than like Red versus Blue was my big inspiration for this show. I mean, obviously because my show takes place in online multiplayer in the same way that show does, and it kind of has like a similar like sketch comedy style format, right? That show, they didn't really use a lot of head bobbing, and when they did, it was very inconsistent. Like you would see players bob their heads maybe a little bit, and then like another shot, they'd go back and they're talking at the same volume, but their heads aren't moving. And I think that was just due to probably the either lack of experience of the people making the show, because they were like probably my age when they were making that show, right? So probably just their lack of experience. It's their first time making a machinima. And also, they were working for Machinima. I don't know if they were on like a schedule to like turn out videos on like a certain time, but I know that Machinima was like very adamant on like wanting content out on like a frequent basis. So they would sort of demand deadlines that were really hard to sort of make a quick turnaround with. So maybe it was time constraints. But yeah, so like the head bobbing is really inconsistent. And then you have other Machinimas that are like doing like super exaggerated head movements that are like, it's like, oh my God, like I can't even watch that stuff because it's just like, this is awful. This is terrible. And then you have the Red versus Blue stuff where it's like just like this every time they speak, and it's like you can't really take it seriously no matter how hard you try. But that's kind of the beauty of it, is that like I use the head bobbing in this season specifically because I thought that it lent to a more comedic tone, right? Like with like exaggerated head movements, it sort of felt like a cartoon, right? Whereas I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm sure if you're watching these commentaries, you probably finished the season, so you've seen episode 8. But at the end of episode 8, Zach, is in Halo. He's playing Halo Reach, and pretty much no character in that whole scene has any head bobbing. And if they do, it's like very subtle. And that was very deliberate on my part. I wanted to make it appear as though like that was like the real world, right? Or like that was like actually characters just playing the game. So there was no head bobbing, because you wouldn't head bob when you're playing actual online multiplayer, right? Whereas in this season, all the characters head bob in game, and it's because this season has more of a inherent comedic tone, whereas season 2, it's still going to be comedic, but it's going to be a little bit more grounded in the fact that it's based a little bit more in reality, whereas this season kind of takes reality and fucks with it. But yeah, all that to say, I wish I would have sort of cooled it with all the head bobbing, because I don't think it was all that necessary in a lot of these sequences. But I did like what I did there with the head bob, where it's like as DJ gets more insecure as he speaks, and his voice drops in confidence, so does his posture, and like he sort of like his chin gets tucked into his chest. I really like that.
Thing we can do. I mean, did you look at their top frag? He's ranked general grade 4.
What?
That's impossible. The game only came out a few weeks ago. I know. It doesn't make any sense. The dude is OP as heck.
All right, that's enough. We're never gonna win this game thinking like that. Now I get it. You guys are scared. But if we just give up and lose, our loss will have been for nothing. We have to try and win. Okay?
So, that's obviously like the like the obligatory like hero shot, like like we have to try and fight our fight. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but I voice in this episode me, this guy who I just call Red Leader. He's referred to as Red Leader in the scripts, but I think his name is like Monkey Club 96 or something, something stupid. And then I also voice DJ, or DJ Slayer 60 or 98. I want to say 69. Oh, funny 6 number. But no, I voice all three of those characters, and I think I do a all right job. I kind of have a problem with the voices that I put on in this series going forward, because pretty much the only other difference in voice that I have in this season is like my nasal nerd voice. And I mean, it works in some places, but there's other ones where I would just wish, like in hindsight, I was like, I wish I didn't put on like a really super like exaggerated voice for a particular performance. But I don't know. I guess it's a comedy show, so like, whatever.
Okay?
And I like that. I like that little head nod too. Like it actually took me a couple takes to get that for both of those characters. And even in the final cut, I think I went with the wrong take here. So DJ looks at No Bullscopes, who's actually voiced by Ashton, who also voices Banshee. Then No Bullscopes looks at DJ, and then DJ looks back at Red Leader, and then as does Bullscopes, and then Bullscopes, like he does like this when he should do like this, like the same thing that DJ does here. And I think I screwed up, because how I film these particular sequences, right? I sort of previs a lot of these scenes beforehand, so I know like what types of shots I want going into a machinima, and so that makes me very careful and attentive to like the blocking of certain scenes. Like this, for example, I knew that I wanted DJ and Scopes like right here next to each other on the far end of the frame, and then having Red Leader tucked next behind the rock or the boulder, because I knew I wanted an over the shoulder shot for this. And so I really focus on the blocking of certain scenes. And also the reason why I do that is because one way that I make the machinimating easier on my part is at least when it comes to animation of it, or the puppeteering, I guess. For this scene, I'll start with DJ, right? And I'll animate all his movements. So like his head bobs, his nods, his looks over to Scopes and then back at Red Leader. I'll animate all that, right? I'll just move his character first, and then I'll move over to Scopes' character, his Spartan, and I'll do all his animations. I'll have him look at DJ, do his head bob, and then look at Red Leader, and same thing, right? And so then when I'm in theater mode, I know exactly what shot I want, right? And I'll just frame it in the way that I want, and then I'll record DJ's whole thing, right, in one go, his whole performance, and then I'll wait until I get to the part where Scopes starts moving, and then I'll record his whole performance. And then in editing, because it's locked off on the same frame and the camera doesn't move at all, I can just cut a matte out. I use Premiere Pro, so I can cut a matte out over DJ and just basically composite him over the same frame the No Bullet Scopes character is supposed to be animated in. So that way it looks seamless, as though they're moving in the same shot, when in reality I moved them probably like minutes apart from each other. But it looks seamless because the shot is a still frame, you know.
All right, Razor.
Just something that I thought of, you know. This is my first time doing Machinima, right? So I had to kind of learn as I went, and I tried to learn some tricks that I've taught myself prior from like other projects, because I've done like live action stuff before, and I've done like stop motions and stuff like that, but I haven't made like a movie in Halo yet, you know. So I used basically all the skills that I've learned up to this point and sort of tried to make a show as high quality as I could, with the limited knowledge of Halo's theater mode as I could, right? And I always wanted to make a Machinima. I thought about making a Machinima like probably, you know, when it was first at the height, you know, like every kid would when they would watch Machinimas online, and they would be like, oh my God, I would love to make a Machinima, but like I never did. I don't know, because I just never had an idea that struck me as hard as this show. And the thing about this show is that nobody would really notice is that I came up with a rough outline for the entire story arc of the entire show, not just season 1, but season 2. Like I knew from the very beginning how it was going to end, and I've just been building up to that point. Now, obviously, season 1 doesn't really factor into that, because there's no like real story stuff until like the last 2 episodes, but there is inherent meaning behind each episode. And like this is the first Machinima I've ever made, and I'm happy with how it turned out overall. I mean, obviously there's some things that I would go back and change, but you know, can't do that. I'll touch on a bit more about like my writing process maybe at the end, but because I kind of want to get through this. We're only a minute in, and it's already been like 20 minutes of recording. Jesus.
Until rocket spawn.
Shouldn't be too long. I'll let you know as soon as these assholes quit it with their grenades.
Roger.
So, Razor is played by my friend Matt. And what I like about Matt's voice, he plays a really good like bully / like asshole character. So like in episode 4, Two Tanks, you know, he's just basically bullying Scopes. He's not that much of an asshole in real life. But like he has like an asshole quality to him that's endearing. You know, it's not like a negative trait about him, right? We're all assholes. I'm an asshole. Don't know if you could tell from my writing. So I think his voice really lends itself really well to the characterization of Razor, who's kind of this just like regular dude bro gamer, you know, that's just wants to play the game and chill out. So I think the dynamic really works in with this team in particular, and that's why I kind of like this unit of characters where you have the leader, like Red Leader, who's kind of taking the game a bit more seriously than he should, right? You have Razor, who's like the scout of the team, the guy who just kind of lays back because that's also in line with his personality. He's just kind of like, whatever, man. And then you got the two noobs, but one is a bit more competent than the other. Scopes is a bit more of like he's not as bad as DJ, right? Like DJ is just fucking terrible. Like it's unbelievable how terrible he is at the game. But even in like, I try to communicate that not only in how they act, but in how they talk too, or like the knowledge that they speak of. So like earlier in the episode, I forgot to touch on it. Again, sorry, I'm taking forever, but like it's kind of necessary to just talk about different ways that you can tell your story through like, you know, characterization in like how they speak or how they act or what they do, right? But DJ is like the guy's been, you know, we can't do anything, right? This guy's been killing us all game, you know, whatever. And then No Scopes goes like, yeah, the top fragger, you know, he's ranked general grade 4, you know, like the fact that No Scopes is paying attention to like the ranking of the guy in game is like, oh, okay, so he's a bit more attentive to like the actual, like, or at least he's trying to be a bit more attentive to the game, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to be a better player, right? But he still sucks.
They've had control over the base almost the entire game. If we can just take it back, we just might be able to hold them off on the beach side and take the power weapons for ourselves.
But what if their spawn rotates?
That won't happen. Our only way out of this is to pick them off at range, stay covered, and work as a team. They've stopped firing.
And you can hear as the grenades fade out, the sound of the map ambience like increases, and that's just to draw the attention to the fact that you know, there's no more gunfire and that the soundscape is now full of like ambient like leaves and crickets and stuff, to sort of give that more like to add a bit of like suspense to the scene. And also the entire time they're behind this rock, I mean, it's obvious because I'm the one controlling all the players and we never cut back to the team, right? But you know, besides that opening shot where you see the gunfire shooting at like the ground and the rockets and like you see the grenades exploding, all of the rest of like the explosions and gunfire here, that's just like sounds that I recorded from in game and then put over the top of all this dialogue, right? And that's just so that the gunfire and the explosions are implied. That way the audience can sort of fill in the gaps like, oh, okay, so while they've been having this entire conversation, they're still stuck behind these rocks because there's someone shooting at them. And if they were to come out of cover, then they would get shot, right? The whole idea for this opening scene was meant to be sort of like a like an 80s action comeback. Like, if we just... We got to work as a team, you know, like if we've been working not as a team, we got to work as a team, right? And but the irony of it is that it's a fucking video game. And it's like you shouldn't be taking it like this seriously. Like in the canon of the show, it's not even a ranked game. It's a social game, right? So it doesn't make it. Why the fuck are you taking this so seriously? But that's the joke.
All right, it's time. Razor.
On it.
All right, DJ, Scopes, you're with me. We'll take rockets and head up the ramp. Razor, what do you see?
No one. There's no one around. It's like they just left.
And I like this little sequence leading up to the laser strike, right? Because all of the gunfire has dissipated from the soundscape. It's just like the map ambience, so you hear like the birds chirping and you know, the crickets and the leaves rushing. And so it's like a very suspenseful like scene where it's like, where did everybody go, you know? Nice little POV shot. I do this sometimes. I don't do this all the time. Like I did this what other episode did I do this in? I'm trying to think. I had it in the script of episode 3 to do this. Like do a POV of like when the ghost rises up and like my character turns around and you see like the HUD and like the ghost hovering up. But I ended up not including that because I just didn't think the scene needed it. I think I had another one. Oh, I think it was episode 7 when the guy goes to flip the elephant, right? The reason why I didn't do that is because, and I got so much shit for it in the comments, like from like a few people. They were like, I'm pretty sure it says the button prompt is press or hold RB to flip the. Wait, what? How did you do that? You know, like, and it's like, yes, I know, but the point, like, I didn't want the character to be like the character to be like, what does the button prompt say? And then he goes, it says hold RB to flip. Wait, what? You didn't like? It's just so. It's just that dialogue is unnecessary. The button prompt says hold RB to flip, and then it says all that stuff. So I just had the character cut out all the rest of the bullshit to make it like concise, right? It's not like I didn't know what it said. You don't even see it. So like, fucking but yeah, I like some of these POV shots because it then again it reminds you again that you're playing a game, right? And that's the whole point, is that this is all taking place in multiplayer matchmaking.
All right, rockets are up.
And I remember I had to try like a few times just to get that exactly right, where like the scope moved at just the right time to see the rocket launcher spawn in. Because I think I had it on like a 10-second timer. So I was trying to count it in my head, like how many seconds until it spawned back in, and I got it just right there. I think it was like my third take.
Okay, guys. Remember the plan. We stay together. We win as a team.
All right. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're gonna kick that cheater ass.
And again, I don't know if like this is like noticed, but like I mean, I'm not really too happy with how this episode was shot. I mean, it's there are some like decent like moments that I don't mind, but for the most part, this was like one of like the first episodes that I shot. So my order of production was I did the first like minute and a half of episode 3. That was the first thing I ever shot, because at the time I only had 2 controllers and I was gonna buy more, but I only had 2 controllers, so I just shot what I could for like a test with 2 of them, and then I never ended up reshooting it. So that is probably the one that the first like minute and a half of episode 3 is probably the jankiest looking machinima that I've done, but I think it's all right. And then I did episode 4. I did the whole thing. That was the second thing I worked on. And then I did episode 5. And then I did episode 2. And then 1 and 3. And then 7, 8, and 6. The reason why I did it in that order is because episodes 4 and 5 only really required me to have 4 controllers at once, right? It's only like 4 players on screen at once. Whereas like episodes 1, 3, and 2, there's like at least a couple shots where they require me to have 8 players on screen at once. So I wanted to save those for later. And then episodes 6, 7, and 8, they're the later ones because I knew that I needed to do the most like editing, and that those would just require the most work. So I saved those for last. So I tried to get at least the production of the first 5 episodes of the season done first, and then I could start rolling out the episodes while I worked on the later half of the season. That way, I wasn't like uploading. I didn't finish episode 1 first and then wait like 2 weeks to upload episode 2, and then episode 3 would have taken me longer, so it'd take me a month to make episode 3. You know, so like that way, I could release them on a consistent basis, and still like while the new episodes are being rolled out, I'm still working on the other ones. It's just like production timeline. You kind of try to. If you want to make a series like this and you want to release it on like a consistent basis, you kind of try to like plan ahead, like how many uploads are you going to need at the start, how many do you need it, what amount do you need to get finished so that you can give yourself enough time by the end. Because by the time I uploaded episode 1, I had to finish episodes 6, 7, and 8, and that took me to finish those 3 episodes. It took me all that time. It took me about a month to finish all those 3 episodes. Yeah, you just kind of got to plan things out if you're gonna upload this stuff on a consistent basis, like a series.
On 3. 1.
What did I? Oh, I didn't even get to the point that I was gonna make. Sorry. Real quick. So I don't know if you noticed, but the reason why I was talking about my shots in this episode is because I want to like really pay attention to how I tell the story through my use of like cinematography in season 2. So I'm really going to focus on increasing my quality of filmmaking in season 2. But I do think there are some decent like ideas. The fact that DJ and Scopes are framed pretty much always in the same frame shows that, you know, they are, you know, equals pretty much. They are both noobs, right? Even though one is probably less noobish than the other, they're still on equal grounds as noobs. Whereas they're always framed either behind Red Leader, or over his shoulder, right? Because it's showing like a sense of superiority to them. He's completely separate from them. He's better than them, right? And then to complement that, Razor and Red Leader are pretty much, at least in this opening scene, are pretty much always framed together. They're always like over the shoulder of each other. So, because they complement each other too, because they're decent players as well.
Yeah, we're gonna kick that cheater ass.
Just another way to communicate. Simple blocking and staging and framing of your shots is just another way to, convey character. Because what am I saying? That's filmmaking.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
So I like this sequence here. It's really quick, but there's like 4 different shots of the laser, right? And normally you want to go in 3s because it's just like more satisfying to do everything on 3s. But I ended up going like 4s, I think, for 4 shots here. So you get like but I guess it's kind of a 3 in a way. So there's like one really quick shot here where it's just a close up on the Spartan laser, right?
3.
Very quick. It's just like a flash, right? And then this next shot, for a split second, you can see Banshee, right? But it's just like, it's supposed to be a quick shot of just the laser coming at the camera. And then you get this like snap zoom that's meant to be like a POV of the laser. And as it gets closer to him, the screen kind of gets more like red because I increased the hue and the exposure of the image. So it gets like red and it gets brighter. So then like right as it's about to touch him, it sort of like flashes quick red, and then you get the laser strike. And with filmmaking, you can slow down a moment to sort of like increase the impact, right? You see this a lot in like anime or like even live action stuff. Like there's a scene in Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man in 2002. Directed by Sam Raimi. When Norman Osborn gets impaled by his glider at the end of the movie, the moment where he gets impaled by his glider, it's broken up into like 4 or 5 shots, but the whole sequence in like reality would only be like a second, right? But the film breaks it up into multiple shots to sort of allow the audience to understand what's going on and to slow down the moment, so that way when it cuts to the impact, it's a lot more impactful. And so yeah, I think it works. I think it does the trick here.
It's him.
Oh, fuck it. Run!
And of course they're the noobs, so they just run around and shoot the air. That moment is so quick, but if it wasn't in there, the scene wouldn't nearly be as funny, I don't think. Because when I was editing this episode, initially, I didn't have enough space in between like the dialogue of them screaming to have that part where Razor spawns and then immediately dies. I think it's probably not even like a 2 seconds, but I didn't even have that. So I had to stretch out the screams in editing to make that work. And I don't think it's noticeable. But again, like, yeah, if I didn't have that part, I don't think the scene would be as nearly funny. I think that's just like a quick, like, comedic punch, I think I'm pretty good at that. It's just doing like a quick comedic jab. If it's already comedic, I can push for even more comedic beat, right?
Oh man, where did they go?
I don't know. They can't all have active camo, right?
Oh crap, I forgot that was on this map.
And that's and this is another issue with the head bobbing. You can clearly see like the head bobbing just does not sync up with the voices, and especially with like the weapons that are mounted on top of the player's shoulder. Trying to do a head bobbing with that just looks really weird because you're just like having to move everything. It's not just like moving the head up and down, it's like moving the arms and everything, and it just looks so janky.
Guys, whoa!
And there's another scene, another moment just like the laser where it's broken up into multiple shots. So you get one shot where it's just DJ and Red Leader as he's walking up.
Guys.
And then it cuts immediately to a snap zoom to a close up of DJ as he fires the rocket. And then it cuts to like quickly to so quick that you probably didn't even notice, but it cuts to a close up on Red Leader that then pulls out. So like there's just enough motion in the shot where it's like there's a bit of a distortion effect going on that I thought really worked to kind of imply the acceleration of the rocket, right? And then we cut to a wide, or not a wide, but a full shot of the rocket just leaving, right? And then we cut to a shot of him ducking under it. And then the shot of the rocket hitting. And then we get an over-the-shoulder shot as we see the impact of the rocket. And it's broken up in that way because if you just shot it like in like 2 shots, like I think I had it initially set as like 2 or 3 shots initially when I was planning out the scene. It just wouldn't work. So there's instances like this where you're just in theater mode and you're filming the scenes and you just film as many angles as you possibly can. That way, in the editing bay, you kind of have a lot more to work with than you initially went in thinking you needed. And then you get sequences like that, which I think work.
Jesus, dude! What the hell are you doing? We only got 1 rocket left now.
Sorry.
Alright, new plan, everybody. I'll flank up the tower, and you guys just... I don't know. Go somewhere else.
But wouldn't it be better if...
And I love that I love that moment, like that quick cutaway to like the tower. Because it's just like a quick comedic cutaway, and then we cut back to it's a cutaway that references where the tower is, like what he's talking about, and then it cuts back to him, and he's just looking at them like, yeah, okay, yeah, if you guys find somewhere else you want to go.
We stayed together? Oh, but wouldn't it be better if we just did it?
I really like my performance there. Like I like the fact that these are 2 characters that I'm voicing, right? But like the voice that I'm putting on as Red Leader is a mocking voice of what DJ sounds like. It's not exactly what he sounds like. DJ's voice is, to do DJ's voice, it's kind of like, it's sort of like a high pitch insecure voice, but it's also got a bit of vocal fry because he's like kind of and I thought of the vocal fry as like he's sort of unconfident with what he's saying, so he's kind of talking. I can't even do it right now. I'd have to like listen to it, but like then Red Leader in his gruff, like essentially he's like a less exaggerated version of Sarge from Red vs. Blue, right? He's just sitting. He does an impression of him that's close, but not close, but not like perfect, right? So it's as if somebody else is doing an impression of another player, which is really funny. And there's like, wouldn't it be better? I just like that little beat.
I don't care anymore. I'm just trying to make sure I don't go negative this game. All right?
Fine. Wait. How do you have -1 kills, DJ?
I think I blew up Razor.
Just go up the fucking ramp.
Another good moment of utilizing dead air and just like a very quiet moment to punctuate a joke. The last thing you hear is like DJ being really like feeling really sorry and disappointed in himself and his own abilities, and then it's just like silent for like a few seconds, and then it cuts to Red Leader like just fucking whatever. I'm fucking done with this game. And I don't think like I said earlier, I don't think very highly of this episode in terms of like cinematography, but I think there's some decent shots here. Like the fact that there's like these bars in front of in the foreground and like they're walking behind it, it kind of resembles sort of like a cage, like that they feel trapped in this game, and they're sort of it encapsulates that like scared, isolated, trapped feeling that I'm going for. And then even here, like this shot with like the door, it's a frame within a frame, right? And the door is wide open. And so like in my head, I'm thinking this sort of resembles like when like the lion or tiger left the exhibit in like a zoo, and like the door is just wide open and they escaped, and they're in like, oh my God, where's the fucking tiger? It feels that like sense of paranoia. But like that's like how that's how the map looks, right? But I'd utilize this framing to sort of evoke that sense of dread, right? I was really happy with how that moment turned out with like the rocks, and then him like shifting and making a little like noise like as if he's like moving pebbles. It's very like horror inspired here.
Fucking hearing shit now. Where the hell did they go?
And then right as we leave right as the tension immediately cuts as we leave the eerie interiors, right? And then so does the spooky ambient track. That ambient track that's playing over that scene is ambience from a Halo Combat Evolve multiplayer map. Can't remember which one. I think it's actually Orbital, or maybe is that Halo 2? It's the one that's like in space on like two separate frigates or whatever. I think it's that ambience from that map. But you'll notice in the series that I don't like to use a lot of music. I don't really use a lot of music in any of my productions because unfortunately I'm not that talented and I can't make music. I wish I could, because if I could, it would make doing this stuff so much easier, because there's times when I really want to implement music because I think it would really elevate a feeling that I'm going for. But I just can never find the right track. Like the track that I have envisioned in my head, I can just never find one that sounds perfect, right? And so that I always end up like just I always end up going for the one that just sounds kind of what I need, but not exactly what I want, I would like to make my own music one day, but I don't know when that's going to happen.
At this point, I just want to get this game over with.
Yeah, I gotta get off soon. It's getting too scary, and I got school in the morning.
Well, no one on the team quit. You should all still be here. Somewhere.
Another moment where you want to accentuate a certain sound, or highlight a certain sound, so you just increase the level or the decibels of of a certain sound, and then you just lower all the levels on the rest of the tracks, so that you kind of like isolate it, right, and it stands out.
You guys hear that?
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
This way. Follow me.
Big reveal. Who's it gonna be?
Oh, hey guys.
Oh, it's just these guys. Who the fuck are they?
Die, 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 die. 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 Die.
God, he is so bad at the game, isn't he? Like I love this shot specifically. It's like it's very much paying homage to the shot in Pulp Fiction with Jules and Vince when the guy just comes out of the bathroom and shooting aimlessly, and then they just cut back to a shot of Jules and Vince, and they're just standing there like all the bullets just went past them.
Die. 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 Die.
So, how you guys doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? We've been getting our asses spanked the whole game. Really? Oh, shit.
Yeah, so
Been getting our asses spanked the whole game. Really? Oh,
yeah, so that's a fake scoreboard. Don't know if you could tell. I mean all the players in the match had those gamer tags. It's just that when I started the Machinima, I didn't have like all the players get these exact amount of kills in the game, right? So I just faked it, and it's just such a quick shot you won't notice. And it's part of the gag too that it kind of looks like shit, right? Because at the end of the day, it's just it's meant to be taking place in in online matchmaking, but I mean, the fact that it looks terrible is pretty funny.
shit. How'd that happen? What? You mean you didn't know?
Your Tom Frag's been destroying us all game. He's a general grade 4.
How? The game came out a few weeks ago.
That's what we said. We think he's cheating.
Maybe, but I wouldn't know anything about that. We stopped playing the game a while ago.
Yeah, he's been trying to show me some Easter egg at this map, but I think it's some bullshit.
It's not. It's real. I saw this video of a guy online.
Oh, how I love my Easter eggs. Again, like the thought process behind that was just like, initially it was just like, what's the dumbest thing that my character can be obsessed with on this video game that isn't playing the game? And it's just like, oh yeah, it's perfect. It's a perfect way to set up every episode. I'm looking for an Easter egg.
He's just sitting here and listening to the.
And Jacob fucking hates me because he just wants to play the game. We have two opposite goals.
Computer. It's supposed to make some sort of Morse code and then just play something else.
We've been here for almost 5 minutes and nothing's happened.
So you're telling me we've only been fighting one guy this whole time?
Pretty much.
Well, what about him?
Oh yeah. I think he's just having dinner with his family. You can just mute him.
I love the fact that you can hear people like laying out plates and like using silverware in the distance. Cuz like this is just like another like quick cutaway gag where it's like, okay, so in online multiplayer, I was like, okay, well there's me, Jacob, and Banshee, right? So we need another player, right? And I didn't just want to have like the excuse of like, oh, well, one just left early in the game. So I thought like, okay, well, there's always that one guy on the team that's like AFK because he went to the bathroom or like for whatever reason. So I thought it'd be funny to just have like a kid that's just walking endlessly in a corner because he's probably got like his controller propped up like on the ground or something, and he's just walking into a corner because his mom called him to come eat, and his Xbox is in the living room. I just love that. I love that I added this. I'm not trying to suck my own dick. I'm just like, I think it's a funny gag. If anybody else did it, I would laugh too, you know?
Hey guys, what'd I miss?
Nothing much. The blue guys are just doing some Easter egg.
Oh yeah? I've seen this one before. With the Moses code, right?
See?
The Moses code, yeah. So that can happen sometimes in my scripts. I'm very prone to spelling errors because much like my character in the show, I have a reading disability. Not to the extreme that my character in the show does. Like my character's reading comprehension level is like that of a kindergartner. But I have exophoria, so I struggle to kind of focus when I read. Like my eyes just can't focus on words. So sometimes that can make me put in spelling errors because it's when I like read through my scripts, I can kind of scan over certain words and I just miss certain things. So that's one of those instances where Matt just read straight off the page like what I said, and I wrote Moses instead of Morse, and he was like, and I was like, Matt, why'd you say Moses? And he said, well, that's what it says. It says Moses. And I was like, okay. And then I was thinking to myself, like, do I want him to re-record it? And I was like, no, it'll be fine. Because I think it's also kind of like, it's coming from a genuine place that the fact that he said Moses, it's like, yeah, somebody might fuck that up. Like, they just might say Moses instead of Morse, you know? Because on the off chance that someone's just that dumb to get those two mixed up.
I told you.
Still not buying it. Yeah, I once got out of the map Valhalla. It was pretty cool.
Really?
So I don't know if that was intentional, but it's kind of like foreshadowing for the very end of the season when they do technically get out of the map, right? Because they open this secret wall in Valhalla that pretty much takes them out of the map, right, into like a whole new environment. So that's kind of interesting. I don't think I thought of that when I was writing.
Want to try?
Did you use like mods or something?
No, it was all legit.
I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, me either. No, I swear.
Can we just kill your buddy? Yeah, okay.
Guys? What's that sound?
Double kill. Triple kill. Overkill. Extermination.
There's another shot of the fake scoreboard.
Game over.
Oh man, it's over? And the Easter egg was just about to start.
Yeah, sure it was.
That's what I like. But that's what I like about making the multiplayer. About the multiplayer aspect of the show is that you can have like the announcer come in game, and it's not like just out of nowhere, right? Like you get the idea that it is taking place in a multiplayer setting, and it's just also really funny that the moment that the game ends is when the Easter egg is about to start, you know, supposedly, right? but the joke here is that there is an Easter egg on this map, and that is where the Easter egg would play. But it's just the fact that that Jacob just doesn't believe it. He's so ignorant to the possibilities of there being any Easter egg in this game. Oh my god, I love it.
Hey man, I appreciate the carry and all, but you couldn't have just waited a little bit longer to kill those guys? Well, shit. Jacob, want to hop into a custom game?
For what?
I really want to do this Easter egg.
I don't know, dude. It's getting late.
I promise, it'll only take 5 minutes, max.
That's what you said last time, but whatever.
Yes!
I love the idea that this repeated theme that Jacob every episode just gets screwed over and gets lulled into my like shenanigans. It's really fucking sad, like what he has to put up with. But you know, that sort of all culminates into the final episode of the season where they kind of have like a bit of a better like understanding of each other.
What about you, Banshee? Want to join us? Does he got us muted or something?
Maybe he doesn't have a mic.
Ah, Jesus Christ, dude! Ah, my ears!
Yeah, hello?
Move your mic away from your mouth!
Hey, guys!
Hello.
Hey!
I love Ashton's performance here, dude. The first time he put on the voice modulator that he had and he did this voice, I was like, this is perfect. Like the fact that I got him like ruffling with his mic, I recorded him doing that, and then I had him breathe heavy into the mic as well. Like it's just so perfect. Like I love the build up to the fact that he's like just silent for like the first minute he enters the room, and then like the moment he plugs in his headset, just everything gets fucked. The ear piercing buzzing, the ruffling of the mic, the mouth breathing, like it's all just it's perfect, the imperfect embodiment of what Xbox Live game chat was like.
There! I just sent you a friend request.
No way.
Dude.
No fucking way.
A kid?
A kid just carried us.
Oh my god.
Hey, Banshee. How old are you, dude?
I'm 9.5.
I feel so fucking old right now.
God, me too.
Team kill. Tacular.
All right. Well, yeah, that was okay. That was an episode. That was episode 1. I think that was a pretty good first episode in terms of like establishing an overall tone for the series and introducing like all like the core characters that we'll be following up. Like I really like this set of characters that I established in this show, like Banshee, Zach and Jacob, and then all of Red Team. Those characters I really enjoy to write for because I love their banter. I love their back and forth. Well, I guess that's it. This is a pretty long one. I hope you guys enjoyed this director's commentary for Open Lobby, Season 1, Episode 1, The Top Fragger. I'm going to go to bed. Thanks for watching.